I do also recognize the protocol that has been established here, and I would like to acknowledge that it is also my pleasure to be here at the Ecology Park under its circumstances for the last 7 years, where it ain't that much stress being a minister environment now that the Ecology Park has responsibility for the sector. And you have good lunch too. So there are moments in public life when we are called not simply to acknowledge progress, but to recognize systems that make progress possible. This afternoon is one of those moments. It is an opportunity to reflect on the work. It is an opportunity to reflect on the work that is often out of sight, yet essential to the health and safety of our future and of this nation. 7 years ago, the New Providence Ecology Park assumed responsibility for the management of the New Providence landfill. A task, while rarely celebrated, touches the daily lives of every resident on this island. The proper management of waste is not a ceremonial function of the government or industry. It is a foundational function. It determines the quality of air, the safety of our groundwater, the well-being of communities that live in the proximity to this facility especially, and ultimately the environmental inheritance we pass on to our next generation. Over the past 7 years, the New Providence Ecology Park has demonstrated that this is a disciplined organization. They have demonstrated what discipline, professional stewardship can achieve. The consistent operation of this facility without major incident, as I would have stated, represents more than operational competence. It represents stability for surrounding communities, protection for our natural resources, and the reassurance for the Bahamian public that essential infrastructure is being managed and cared for with accountability. That record deserves recognition, and I think they deserve a round of applause. What distinguishes institutions of consequence is not only their ability to manage what exists, but their willingness to expand what is possible. New Providence Ecology Park has done so through the development of a residential drop-off facility, the establishment of hazardous materials center, as you would have heard earlier, and the advancement of a serious electronic waste diversion program at a time when e-waste has become the fastest growing waste stream globally, as you would have heard this morning. These initiatives reflect a mindset that looks beyond compliance and towards leadership. It is within the spirit and this spirit that we gather today to mark the launch of the e-leaf certification program. Environmental stewardship in the 21st century cannot be the responsibility of government alone, nor can it rely solely on the goodwill of individuals. The scale and complexity of modern environmental challenges demand structured partnerships with the private sector. They require clear standards, measurable outcomes, and systems that recognize and reward responsible corporate behavior. The e-leaf certification program provides precisely that framework. It establishes a credible, nationally recognized pathway through which organizations with various or varying sizes and capacity can demonstrate their commitment to responsible environmental practices. Importantly, it does so in a manner that is inclusive. This is not a program designed only for the largest enterprises or the most resourced institutions. It is intended to create a culture of environmental responsibility that extends across the breadth of our economy. In that context, I wish also to extend congratulations, particularly to Cable Bahamas, the pioneering organization to achieve or that has achieved full leaf illumination, the highest level of certification within this program. And don't be afraid to give them a round of applause again. It's always good to be the first. The diversion, well, not always going to be diversion, but you know what I mean. The diversion of the 156,223 pounds of electronic waste from our landfill represents a tangible and commendable contribution to the protection of our environment. It is also an example of the kind of leadership that has the potential to influence corporate decision-making across our country. Corporate environmental stewardship is not an act of charity. It is an expression of strategic foresight and institutional responsibility. It signals to employees, customers, and investors alike that an organization understands the role within a broader social and environmental landscape. Programs such as eLeaf creates a condition through which that understanding can be translated into measurable action and measurable outcomes. To the leadership and the staff of the New Providence Ecology Park, I offer congratulations. I offer congratulations on your 7 years of service, marked by professionalism and marked by forward thinking. The work you undertake may not always command public attention, but it has profound and lasting implications for the sustainability of our nation. And to the organizations operating throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, I extend a clear invitation. Every entity that produces waste, which is to say that every entity that participates in our economy, has a responsibility to consider how waste is managed. The eLeaf certification program offers a practical and credible means for demonstrating that responsibility. The health of our environment is the foundation of everything we hope to build as a nation. When our institutions lead with responsibility and our government walks alongside them, we create a condition or conditions for Bahamas that endures not just for us, but for every generation that follows. To that end, I am pleased to confirm that the government of the Bahamas stands in full support of the eLeaf certification program. We will continue to explore ways in which the government can strengthen and expand initiatives of this kind of program across our entire nation. Thank you so much for your time and attention.